We have a $20 donation from Sourdough Joe. Just want to say you guys are great. I lost 3 family members in the past 2 years due to cancer, including my grandmother who fought it twice. Keep up the good work. Make the memes, kill the animals, that kind of stuff. May luck and skill be on your side. Michael Bowling with a $100 donation. I always love seeing Fire Emblem at the GDQ. I am loving the excellent commentary explaining how one of my favorite games from the series is being destroyed. My favorite pairing from this has to be the Jill Har because only thing better than a Broken Wyvern Lord is 2. Keep up the great work, everyone. It's going to be a great week.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
There we go.
But he's not getting anything.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
If our runner can't hear us, let's talk about it behind the back. So we all have the new world record. What a surprise that will be.
Check, check. Can you hear me? Cass, please hear me.
If the game sounds me playing, I don't even need the headset. I can hear them like this, right?
Yeah, if you can hear us.
Here, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Okay. Yeah, I think that shouldn't be an issue.
The only thing is we can't hear you very well.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah.
we can't hear you. Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Well, that's true.
We got your back.
It probably ended up being Iwata.
Yeah, it was pretty far ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, always remember to hard reset. All right, so this is Oracle of Ages. Let's do a quick roll call. Our runner here is Casusby. I'm Manchester.
I'm Safazon, the Director of Marketing for Zelda Universe.
And I am the Mageling.
Also, don't forget, we have Bananas here on the couch with us, even though she couldn't be here today. Now, the thing that makes Oracle of Ages a little bit different from most Zelda games is that we're able to do what is known as RNG manipulation. Now, RNG manipulation is being able to manipulate the luck or randomness in a game. And we do this through hard resets. On a hard reset, the seed that is used for the RNG is set. So we know exactly where things are going to be as soon as we hard reset. The number changes every frame on the title screen. So when we started the run, we hard reset and then mash through the title screen as fast as possible. And that gives us a general idea of where we're at. And once you're into the game, the number doesn't change at all unless certain actions occur. Now, Mage, do you want to talk about what changes the RNG?
Sure. Yeah, the big thing is screen transitions. Those increment the RNG by a significant amount. Other things like swinging the sword, digging up items, digging with a shovel. And then there's other random things that you might not expect to affect RNG, like playing the harp or air bubbles when you're swimming underwater.
That one is my favorite.
Yeah, I learned that today. That was just mind-boggling. Like, of all the things to pay attention to, the bubbles that when you're underwater.
Yeah. Now, the thing that makes RNG unpredictable in this game is enemy movement. So when we're manipulating RNG, we have to kind of be careful around enemies.
Yeah, the biggest offender is keys.
Yeah.
Yes.
They change the RNG just about every other frame. So anytime that there's keys on screen, chances are we're not doing a manipulation. And we actually are starting a manipulation right from the very start of the run. We're going to be manipulating a 100 rupee as soon as we get the shovel. And that's going to let us do something really interesting.
One good thing about the RNG manipulation this early in the game is that it's really reliable. You can repeat it really easily.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to do. There's not that many factors that can screw things up for you.
Yeah, really the known starting position is what makes all of the manipulations really possible.
The title screen is a really major factor. You have to get through that as fast as possible.
Yeah, if you wait a little bit too long on the title screen, chances are you're going to miss the seed that you need, and you'll probably have to reset again. Now, this is a little bit of story, just telling us what's going on. The evil sorceress Varen, she's possessing Nehru, who you might know from Ocarina of Time as one of the three goddesses. She has a physical form in this game, and now she's being possessed, and so we're going to go on a quest to save her, pretty much. Here we have Impa, who will be giving us our sword and letting us go on our quest.
After, having been possessed, she kind of owes us that sword.
Yes.
She feels bad about it.
And so one of the big components of the game itself is time travel. The game revolves around traveling between two eras. There's the present and the past. And while they may seem very, very similar, there are some differences, and you'll notice them throughout the game. Just pay attention to this area we're in right now, because we'll come back to it in the past, and it'll look slightly different. And this here is the waifu tree. But something's not right, and she's gonna disappear.
This is actually one of my favorite features from Ages Over Seasons, is that there's a lot more effects going on. What happens in the past really does affect what's in the present. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, you kind of have to look out for that interplay between the two different worlds.
And so he just took the portal to the past, and now everything is sepia colored, and
The music's changed.
and you'll see a little bit of differences in the overworld.
But overall, it's the same thing. It's not really, you're not going to get lost, I don't think.
And now we're coming up to the Black Tower construction site. For the RNG manipulation that we're doing right now, this is actually one of the biggest parts. This screen right here, where you see the cutscene with the tower, depending on RNG, there's lightning that appears, and that changes the value of the RNG manipulation.
Basically, if you see lightning on that screen, it's bad.
Yeah.
Especially if you see more than one.
Right.
Why wasn't he digging? Why is he putting it up to us?
He's the boss man.
We're just going to take the shovel and run.
So now that he has the shovel, we can finally get the 100 rupee that we're looking for. And by using a combination of sword slashes and digging,
There you go.
you'll get the rupee.
And then we're going to we get a seed from this guy. This will come in handy.
And we'll plant it right away because we're going to come back through here.
So one of the neat things about playing this game on the GameCube, the Game Boy player, is that it plays in Game Boy Advance mode. And what that means is the Advance shop is open, and that allows us to buy a gaseous seed from the shop there.
Right.
That's why we need the 100 rupees.
Yeah, normally when you play on a Game Boy Color, that shop is not open. And that's one of those features that's delegated specifically for the Game Boy Advance.
Even on the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console, it's not available, but there is a backup seed that you can get.
Yeah, there
about
is
10
one
seconds.
in Dungeon 1 that you can get,
Yeah.
and it's not that far out of the way.
But since we can get it a lot quicker, well, not much, a bit quicker that way, we're just going to do it that way instead. And then he falls there because, you know, gets him back there a bit faster, so he doesn't have to backtrack all that way.
There's a lot of that early on.
And since there's keys in this room here, we can't really manipulate the RNG any further.
Yeah, at this point, if we want to do another RNG manipulation, which will later, we're going to have to do another hard reset.
And now we find out the reason why the tree disappeared in the present. It's because she's being attacked in the past.
Oh, just missed.
Now she owes her life to Link, and she's going to marry him.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard weirder things in Zelda, to be honest, so...
And now this screen here is very important for later on. The waifu tree is going to be giving us a seed satchel, which will spawn on one of two sides. If it spawns on the right side, that will mess up a trick that we do at the very end of the run. We want it to spawn on the left side. And the entire way it spawns is based upon Link's position. If Link is to the left, it'll spawn on the right. If Link is to the right, it'll spawn on the left. And luckily, if you move straight up from where you are entering the room, it'll spawn on the left every time.
It's a very subtle thing that'll become important in an hour and a half, 2 hours. So try to remember. Again, we're going to plant the seed here now, because it takes a certain amount of kills before the seed actually grows.
Yeah, 40 kills for the tree to grow.
So while he's in dungeons and killing enemies, those trees will be growing.
So it is important to be killing enemies in this game. You don't just want to skip over everything. It'll ruin the run if you don't have enough kills, so...
Yeah, and we want to have those trees ready to be harvested by the end of Dungeon 2.
You guys think now would be a good donation time then? Or I'm trying to think what's coming up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
we can get in a quick donation.
All right, sounds good. We have an $100 anonymous donation. Oracle of Ages is a great game and a personal favorite of mine. I haven't seen it run before at a GDQ event, so I just had to stay up for it. Best of luck. $20 from Lonely Days 17, donating during Oracle of Ages because it was my first Game Boy Color game and one that I hold dear in my heart. Also, $20 to save animals because who needs those frames?
So one thing to note about the keys that fall from the ceiling is that if you go down and scroll the screen down, the key has less room to fall, and it'll actually fall quicker. So you'll see that anytime a key falls from the ceiling, you'll want to try and move down and make it fall a little bit faster.
Yeah, it doesn't fall from a set position, it just falls at wherever the top of the screen is.
This room here, I always thought there was a little bit of way to get this early cycle, but I don't think it's possible. You have to wait for that platform no matter what.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was RNG related where it would end up going at first, but it's just always the same static position.
This is the room where you would get the seed if you were playing on Game Boy Color. This mini-boss can be a little tricky.
Yeah, the key to this mini-boss is moving towards the right. Since Link slashes from left to right, that ghost on the right-hand side may hit Link, and when the ghost grabs you, you can't do anything. So by just moving slightly to the right, you can hit that ghost on the right and not have to worry about it.
And then he save and quits right there because it's faster to start over from the beginning of the dungeon.
But he
back to
actually
the-
didn't save and quit.
Right. He saved and
he
soft
hit
reset.
save and continue, and then did a soft reset, which is just frames faster than going to save and quit normally.
If you select save and quit, then it does a little animation and you have to wait for it before it returns to the title screen. But if you just hard reset, you bypass all that. Free frames.
So yeah, there are a few different versions of resets in this game, and they all do matter in this run. They'll all be useful at one time or another.
So the quick kill for this boss is to hit him once and get him up against the wall, and then throw the pumpkin at him while he's against the wall so it'll bounce on him twice.
Tragic irony,
Yeah,
dying to his own
good
head.
stuff. The waifu tree talks a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, she pretty much talks to you after every dungeon and after every major event. She just likes talking.
Yeah. So I hope you guys like that character because you're going to see a lot of her in this game.
We will be coming back there after D2 to collect the seed. We'll also meet a friend.
Oh boy.
So he goes in this shop and promptly leaves to set a restore point because he's going to be doing a save and quit a little bit later on, and that just prevents all the backtracking that would have to do normally.
Yeah, this game, a lot of Zelda games, one of the most important features is making sure you don't have to backtrack a lot. And that may not seem something that you'd always be thinking about, but in a game like this, the seconds do add up pretty quickly, especially in dungeons.
It saves a good amount of time.
Now, this is basically Oracle of Ages version of the Lost Woods. You've got these three fairies, and your job is to play hide and seek with them and go find them wherever they're hiding. Luckily, they always hide in the exact same spot whenever you play, so it's not that troublesome. However, you just kind of have to finagle your way around this area, but you'll always eventually get to them.
And also, even though the forest appears to be randomized, the pattern is the same every time. So if you take the same movements, you'll get to the same screens every single time.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier than it might appear. And there we're done.
Now we're about to enter Dungeon 2. Wait, what just happened to Dungeon 2?
Nice job breaking it, hero. This is just an excuse to get to the waifu tree to talk to us again. I know.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Anytime they can put her in here.
So now that the waifu tree has talked to us, we have to go find the harp, which is the musical instrument of this game. Like most Zelda games, there's a musical instrument. And this harp allows us to move through time.
No relation to the Ocarina of Time.
This is really the first chance where you get to see the interplay between the two time periods.
And also, the tree does have to talk to you before you can move that statue. You won't be able to move beforehand.
Now, when we first get the harp, we get the weakest of the 3 songs. This song can only awaken these portals that are on the ground. So anytime that you play it, if the portal is on screen, then you can go through time. So you can see a portal on the left side of the screen there. So we'll play the harp and go to the past. And hopefully we'll find the dungeon there.
If not, the run's over.
This might be a good time for donations.
You got it. Got a $50 donation from Bane Howl. By the time this is read, I will be asleep. But I just want to do my part in helping the fight against cancer. $100 donation from D. Vandahorns. Nice to finally see Oracle of Ages getting a speedrun at a GDQ, even if it is in the middle of the night in North America. Keep up the good work for a great cause. Thank you very much for the donation. $25 from Pantlestein. Oracle of Ages hype? Favorite childhood game of mine. Can't wait to see it done quick. Dimitri is the best companion. Glad I didn't miss this.
Really, you're at the mercy of RNG in this area, getting good enemy patterns. There's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Our best friends, the keys.
$75 donation from Albino Fox. Clearly, we need to pick Dimitri, as he always seems to get the worst treatment of the 3.
So after picking up those mystery seeds, one of the Queen's guards stops you and says that the Queen was looking for mystery seeds, so they take you to the Queen's palace. And here we're going to have a little cutscene where she takes the mystery seeds from us, and she'll be giving us a very useful item in exchange.
You can be rude and use the item right when she gives it to you.
Yeah, there's
It's a little difficult to do.
A one-frame window for that?
Yeah, it does remind me of having to drop bombs in the Ocarina of Time 3D speed. Well, it's a trick, so to get the fishing rod as a holdable item. Here's a question, though. Why mystery seeds for bombs? It seems like an odd trade, don't you think? You think you could do more damage with bombs right now?
You know, maybe that's foreshadowing something.
Suspicious. like how he just scampers off.
So at this point, we can actually go to the dungeon. After having seen it twice now.
So this is our first encounter with Maple. She shows up after every 30 kills, and she just flies around on the screen, and if you bump into her, she'll drop some items. She can drop a ring, she can drop a potion, and overall she's just a nuisance.
Now, usually for this part you need a shield, but it's a lot more fun and interesting to use the shovel instead, and it's also faster.
Especially since we don't even pick up a shield in the game. Now these push blocks are always going to be the same pattern every single time. So once you memorize the pattern, they're really nothing special.
And there are a lot of color-related puzzles in this game, and they're all like that, so whenever you see something that's color-centric, like blocks or statues, they're always spawned the same way.
So we didn't really get any here, but if you see him go out of his way to get rupees, it's because we need enough rupees to pay for the mini games towards the end of the game. We're going to collect a bunch through RNG manipulation, but even with that, you tend to come up a little short, so...
I've got a $20 donation from Fox Cutter. Oracle of Ages is my favorite portable Zelda game, and a shout out to the audience who stuck around so late. And personally, you gotta save the animals and the Yoshis. Thank you for the donation.
We'll do another save and quit here. This dungeon has kind of branching paths, and it's quicker to just go back to the middle.
One thing I actually don't like about ropes, and I never think about this until they are on screen, is that they can get stuck really easily between things, and in areas where you have to kill all keys, all ropes in order to progress, it can sometimes be annoying if you don't know where they are.
Yeah, they can get stuck in some random places. Hopefully the ones later on don't get stuck.
Oh, right. And also we're trying to kill every enemy possible here, just to really make sure that we've killed enough for the seeds to spawn.
Really, you'd have to go out of your way to avoid enemies, but murdering enemies is always fun.
So this is the mini boss for the dungeon. The strat for this is pretty simple. Just wait underneath and move out of the way and spin slash as he falls.
There we go.
Now he's gonna throw a bomb here because these Stalfos, they pretty much have aimbots. They will shoot you off the ledge, as they tried to do just there.
In practice, though, we did get saved by a Stalfos from having us smash between two.
That is true.
Yeah, so...
If you swing your sword at just the right time while going under that thwomp, your sword will clink off the thwomp and you won't take damage. And here's the first instance of jumping color tiles. Every time that you jump over that tile, it changes color, and it's going to be used a little bit later on for a puzzle.
This is also kind of where your equips become important. 'Cause you're switching between items a fair bit in this game, and knowing where all of your stuff is on the item screen. If you're, messing around on the item screen, you're just killing time.
We got a $50 donation from Cardboard Lawyer. I can hardly believe there's a run of this game. I've been waiting ages for this.
It deserved it. I love puns. The best pun is the most cringeworthy of puns. That's how you know a pun is good. Maximum cringe.
$100 from John C251. Special thanks to all of you who make this possible, especially those of you working behind the scenes. Thank you. Announcer's choice on whether to kill or save the animals. The announcer's choice is to kill the animals.
This room can be a little tricky with all the pea-hats flying around and
Yeah,
the moblins shooting.
The P-hats, they're invincible when they're flying. You can only attack them when they're on the ground.
Yeah, I kind of don't like them more than Keese in that way.
That went pretty well.
And this puzzle, you have to have that certain color and to be able to move the same colored statue, so it's a pretty simple puzzle.
And they give you the solution right there.
Right, it's just a bit, you just have to keep moving back and forth. One thing we mentioned during practice is actually when you are pushing the block in this Zelda game, you're actually able to move after you've technically pushed it, so...
Yeah, you're not stuck in the animation while the block is moving, so you can move it and then go on your merry way.
This screen here can be harmful to your eyes.
Yeah, a bit of a warning. But it can also be helpful to Link if we're low on hearts, so... weigh your options, I guess.
Now we're coming up on the boss of this dungeon. This boss is a little interesting. There is a quick kill.
If you get the quick kill, he looks easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks very easy if you get the quick kill.
This was my nightmare boss as a child. I
So
just could not beat him.
the goal for this boss is to throw bombs into the head and have the spinning face land on the red face. Now he was a little bit late on that second bomb there, so it landed on the green face and not the red.
There we go.
Now it's just a matter of knowing when to throw the bombs.
There we go. Doing good so far, actually.
Nice. If that last bomb hadn't gone in,
Yeah, if he missed that last bomb, since he's out of bombs, the boss will randomly shoot bombs out, and you just have to wait for that.
which can be very time-consuming because you can't really know when he's going to do it.
So now we're going to start collecting seeds. We're going to talk about the first seed.
Okay, so the way that collecting seeds works is that the first tree that you harvest will always be basically a dummy. It's a giveaway. It's just your consolation prize for collecting a seed, harvesting your first seed. Now after that, it unlocks the potential to get higher level seeds. Now, we also planted another tree, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a manipulation to manipulate what we get from that tree.
We want a very specific item.
A very, very useful item.
And that item would not have been available if we didn't plant a dummy tree beforehand.
Got a $75 anonymous donation. It's dangerous to go alone. Take Optimus. Thank you, Meta Yoshi, for the $100 donation. As a Yoshi fan, I must donate to save the Yoshis. Good luck and have fun.
And speaking of animals, we got a save one right now, actually.
Yes.
This here is Moosh. He's the flying bear.
The most odd of the animals, our animal friends in this game, to be honest. He always kind of confused me.
Now his power is that he can fly over these large gaps that Link normally can't jump over.
And he can also ground pound, which... He's kind of like a bear version of a Yoshi.
Along those lines, got $50 donation from Arcane Ape, staying up late to watch the first Zelda game I owned and completed be destroyed. Thanks to everyone who came together to make this possible. Support Moosh the Bear and support Prevent Cancer.
Nice.
Nice. That jump can be very tricky. You barely have enough room to get across that diagonal.
Alright, so now we're going to hard reset and start the RNG manipulation.
And like we said before, every time that you hard reset, the RNG value starts at a specific spot. And we know exactly where that is.
See you, Moosh.
Well, hopefully we won't.
That's true.
And now by doing a series of digs and slashes, we will know exactly where we're at in the RNG. And then we'll harvest the nut on the exact value that we want, which will give us the item that we're looking for, which happens to be the Expert's Ring. Now the Expert's Ring allows you to punch when you don't have any items equipped. You're probably thinking, what's the use for that? Well, you'll see in a little bit.
Clearing that grass there was part of the RNG manipulation.
Yeah, because
For
he
that.
also manipulated 100 rupees there.
Right.
So like I mentioned, the digging up items increments the RNG, but it's also a good way of checking what the value of the RNG is. The other thing that kind of can tell you the value of the current value of the RNG is the sound of the sword slash.
Yeah, the sword makes 3 distinct tones when you swing it. There's a low tone, a mid tone, and a high tone, and then the pattern that you get will tell you where you're at in the RNG value. Now here's probably another good spot for donations.
You got it. We've got a $75 donation from M. Jacob. I love Legend of Zelda and preventing cancer. Glad I can donate to AGDQ this year. Money goes to seeing the prototype Sunset Vista in Crash Bandicoot. Thank you very much for the donation. Anonymous $50 donation. A friend introduced me to AGDQ about a year ago, and I have been hooked ever since. This is my first donation, but it won't be my last. Save the animals.
Now, we really didn't talk about Ralph at all. Ralph is pretty useless.
Yeah, what's there to talk about him?
He has cool music though.
Yeah, he has cool music, and then he's pretty much just running around trying to save Nehru and failing miserably. Though he does give you hints on where to go next, so that does kind of help. Now here we see the second animal companion, Ricky, the boxing kangaroo, and it seems that he lost his boxing gloves, so we have to go find them for him.
And for our donation incentive, he may have lost a bit more. So
That's right. We got a bid war going for choosing one of the 3 animals to pick. Dimitri, the Dodongo, is currently in the lead with $1,200. Moosh the Flying Bear with $890, and Ricky the Kangaroo with $92.
Poor Ricky.
he's this game's version of Kill the Animals. Just nobody votes for Ricky.
Hey, at least he got used in the seasons run.
He's had
That's
his
his time to shine.
Speaking of which, why does he always lose his boxing gloves? He should tape them onto his hands. I mean, it's not like he ever has to take them off.
Yeah, I don't know why he even takes them off in the first place.
Must be a kangaroo thing.
So for some reason, Tingle shows up in this game, and you get a chart from him.
Of course.
Ricky's not a fan of Tingle.
Yeah.
And this is probably my favorite save and quit in the game. It takes you both across time and space to bring you back to the raft place. And that this area is in the past, we were just in the present, so just keep that in mind. Also, we did not see the pirate ship, so this will be the run.
So this may look familiar. It's very reminiscent of the opening to Link's Awakening. So, yeah, Link's Awakening should take
All right,
place between this
let's
and
switch games. Let's go.
that. Yeah. It's gonna be the new speedrun within the speedrun. New category.
So when you get shipwrecked on this island, the natives take away all your items. So this is where the expert ring comes into play. Normally, you're not supposed to be able to punch those crystals. You're supposed to get the shovel before you get the sword here. Now, we're not going to get the shovel right away. Instead, we're going to move on and we're going to go to the shop. Now, when you get to the shop, the game assumes that because you have the sword and you made it to the shop, you also have the shovel. And since you don't have the shovel in your inventory, the shopkeeper tries to give you a shovel.
Which is very generous of him. I mean, it's our shovel to begin with, so
Yeah, I don't know whose shovel he's giving out, but
we'll take it.
I hope they don't come back looking for a shovel. Now this lets us trade the shovel back for the feather. Then we'll go back and get our shovel and trade that for the power bracelet. So we'll have both items at once. Normally when you do this section, you're supposed to only have one at a time, and you have to keep swapping and going back.
Makes this entire section fairly long and tedious. A lot of backtracking.
It's not difficult, it's just very, very time consuming.
Another save and quick brings us right back to the shop.
And now he has 2 shovels, because why not?
And also, if you notice the text there, the shopkeeper talks about buying the items for seeds. So our next objective is really to try and get our seed satchel back.
We have a $50 donation from Alamar. Please tell my scrub friend Chaz that the only waifu worth having is the waifu tree. Newton Gang represent.
Now this cave here is much faster because we have both the feather and the bracelet. Normally you'd come through here first with the feather and bombs to get the flippers. Then you'd have to go back, trade the feather for the bracelet, and then pick up one of these rocks over here.
It makes this, what we're already doing, look not even tedious. It's really, really time consuming and unnecessary.
Since this is the first screen you can see it, I'll point out the air bubbles when Link is swimming. Every time one of those appears, it increments the RNG.
So we just got the seed satchel back, and luckily for us, they were kind enough to refill it for us. If you remember way back when, we had our mystery seeds stolen, we traded away our mystery seeds for bombs. Now we're going to be trading mystery seeds for our feather here.
And then we let him keep the other shovel.
Yeah, when you're doing this area casually, you need to get scent seeds in order to buy the power bracelet. We're actually going to be skipping scent seeds for right now, and that actually skips a little bit of there's a mini game that you have to do in order to get that. So we're going to be skipping that, and we're going to be going straight to the dungeon. And this dungeon here is going to be the last dungeon before we have to decide which animal partner we want to take. So make sure to get your donations in for that.
We got a $5 donation from Petey Boo. Why does a kangaroo even need boxing gloves? Also, Casusby, please don't mess up toilet warp.
So yeah, toilet warp is a thing, and I'll be explaining that a little bit later on.
It'll make sense in context, trust us.
I don't know that
Well, it might actually make less sense in context.
I don't know if they'll actually understand, but Just know it's an actual name for a trick.
This is the first spinner in the game. We'll be
Yeah.
going through there quite a bit. They're always fun.
Every time that you see a spinner, you know that you're going to have to take the most roundabout way
Yeah.
to get through the dungeon.
You die a little inside. Every time I see it playing Oracle of Ages or Seasons, I said, it's one of these dungeons, isn't it?
Now there is an RNG manipulation in this dungeon. It is very difficult to do. He's going to be attempting it, but if he fails it, he's just going to continue. Basically, we're going to be trying to manipulate one specific room. And that room has 4 Armos statues. These Armos statues can only be hit with bombs, and they move very erratically. Now, he didn't get the setup there, so we're just going to keep continuing. But basically, you'd be wanting to move perfectly and make sure that your sword slashes are as perfect as you can get throughout all of these rooms. And because there's enemies on screen, you have to be very, very perfect with your movement.
That's what makes it difficult to actually pull the manipulation off.
And then right there what you saw with
Nice,
the closed
the
boys.
Nice, the double.
Yeah, that bomb.
So I'm not sure exactly what causes the double hit there, but sometimes when you throw a bomb, the Moldorm will get hit twice. Might be something with subpixels, I don't know.
Maybe.
This puzzle's the most difficult in the game.
$20 donation from Pie from Hell for Ricky, but also kill the animals.
Can we kill Ricky?
Again, keep in mind, moving through all of these screens with the enemies moving around, the RNG manipulation is very difficult going through here. You have to be perfect.
If you're on the manipulation, the patterns are going to be the same every time. This screen with the Helmosaurs, if you don't move perfectly, you will mess up the manipulation. If you move a little bit too far down, you'll go a little bit too far, and you can't get the manipulation. And here we have the room with the Armoses. You can get a free kill by dropping a bomb next to the first one before you hit the button. But after that, good luck.
And we don't have infinite bombs here either, so...
Yeah, if you run out of bombs, there are bushes right outside. But if you go outside, the Armoses respawn. Which is what makes this very difficult. And the reason why we try to manipulate it.
The Armos can drop bombs if they're feeling nice.
Yeah, if they're feeling really nice, they'll give you a bomb.
But if they're feeling even nicer, they'll just go in a nice fashion in the first place.
Yeah, if they're feeling nicer, they'll group up and kill themselves. Like that was
pretty good.
That was really
Pretty
good.
Corey from Kegs and Consoles donated $50. Totally forgot AGDQ started today. Got to attend SGDQ this summer in St. Paul and met some of the coolest people I'll ever meet. Here's my first of many donations for this marathon. Thank you very much.
So what he was trying to do there was to hit that last tile with the bomb. He threw it just a little too late, and so he missed the tile. It only saves like a few frames.
Yeah, it's mostly for swag.
Yeah. It looks cool. That's all that matters.
It's mostly to let you move towards the exit while the last tile is being destroyed.
this is the seed shooter. It's a pretty cool weapon. You can aim it diagonally. You can also bounce it off of walls. So you'll see some instances where he'll do a ricochet to save a little bit of time.
And the seeds can bounce off of up to 2 walls before they do whatever effect that they normally do.
Yeah, it's the same seeds that are used in your satchel.
So you also have to be wary of your seed count as well, because both the same seeds are being used in 2 different items.
And as we'll see coming up here, sometimes it's easier and faster just to have it ricochet than to, like that, than to go all the way up and shoot in a just straight fashion, so. And then the crystals, for some reason, held up an entire floor. But the
Yeah.
spinner is gone, so that's
Yeah,
all that matters.
Well, not really.
I mean,
The spinner just fell downstairs.
on the top floor at least. Oh well.
There's
We
still
couldn't
some
escape
spinner
it.
action left.
Yeah, but at least it's more simple when it's on the bottom than when it's on the top.
$10 from Scorpion Man 42. Hey, Mash, Mage, and Cass. Good luck on the run. Try not to corrupt anything too bad.
So this is the mini boss. Pretty simple. You just dig them up and then slash them. Or if you're feeling a little risky, you can unequip your items and you can punch them. Did they both spawn over there? Oh my god, I've never seen that. So yeah, the Moldorms, they can spawn on either side of that divider.
And you have to kill them.
Yeah, you
Move
have
the
to kill
block.
both of them in order to move the block and get the key. The fact that both of them spawn on the left side it's pretty rare.
I've never seen that.
I'm impressed.
That's never happened before. So we mentioned earlier that we were skipping scent seeds, or the normal way of getting scent seeds. But up here there are bushes that, since the game assumes you have scent seeds by this point, it drops them for you.
And
So just by
these are
doing that, it's
one of
added.
the only bushes in the game that will do that regardless of whether you got scent seeds from the tree or not.
So it's important to get seeds there.
And we'll be using the scent seeds a little bit later on for its purpose, which is to attract enemies towards the scent.
And then one time that, not really for its intended purpose, but even better.
Yeah, you'll see.
Thank you to the Cynical Penguin for your $50 donation. Kill cancer and the animals. Good luck to all runners.
I think we're gonna want to cut off the
Yeah,
animal
we're-
donation.
We're coming up on the boss here, so we should probably cut off the donation
All right.
war.
And this is the Shadow Hag. It's possible to kill her a little bit quicker by bouncing the seeds, bouncing 3 seeds at a time back at her. The thing is, she disappears when you look at her, so you need to shoot forward. You almost got the 3rd one. But you
Yeah.
can still get her in 3 cycles, and it's not too bad.
The timing for the 3rd seed is very tight. You actually have to be like walking towards the wall, and you have to be like a certain distance away from the wall when you start in order to get it. So do we have a winner for the
We
donation?
absolutely do.
All right.
The winner. One last check here. The winner is Dimitri.
All right.
All right, we have a speed run.
Ricky at least got a sympathetic push over $100. Bless
It's
his
okay,
little
Ricky.
heart.
Maybe next time.
Speaking of Dimitri,
There
you
it
get to
is.
meet him right now.
You know, I don't have any sympathy for them burning with the fire seeds. I mean,
No,
they stole our
after-
stuff earlier.
Yeah, after what they did to us earlier, no sympathy.
Aside from being the best animal partner for speedrun in both ages and seasons, I believe, Dimitri is also, I think, the coolest of the animal partners. It's a red Dodongo, and I don't know, I just like him a bit more than Ricky the kangaroo, and I guess Moosh.
So the way that Animal Partners works, there's 3 flutes that you can get, each one corresponding to one of the animals. You can buy a flute, which is Dimitri's flute in this game. You can win a flute from a minigame, which will be Ricky's flute. Or if you forget both of those flutes and just continue on with your quest, you'll naturally get a flute throughout the course of the game. And that would be Moosh's flute for this game. And each animal has their own unique area. This area that he's coming up to right now will change depending on which animal partner we've selected.
So for Dimitri, this area, which is right over here, it's going to be just full of water and rapids, as if for Moosh it's just a bunch of pits, and then for Ricky you've got cliffs everywhere, and Ricky isn't really the fastest of the animals in the first place.
Yeah, you have to go out of your way to even get the flute, and then his area is kind of a maze-like, and it takes a while.
But unfortunately for our animal friend, I guess was vacationing in this area, so
Yeah, I think they got lost, so we have to help them get back. And this serves as a confirmation of which animal you've selected as your partner. And at this point, they'll rename your flute to their flute. Another neat mechanic with Dimitri is that normally he walks really slow on land, but you can pick him up with the power bracelet and you walk as fast as you would walk if you're holding a boulder.
If someone gets in your way, you can throw him at him.
Yeah, he actually acts like a boulder too, which is pretty cool.
We have a $10 Strong Bad reference. Dear Ricky, do you take your boxing gloves off before you go to bed? Sincerely, Abdi LaRue, San Diego, California.
Now, I wish I had this power
yeah,
here.
like if Link had this power, do you know how fast this speedrun would be?
Just be able to hop all over the place.
Just
Right
hop to
over
the
terrain.
Now, this guy, he's doing a super jump from Link's Awakening right here.
yeah, right over there. And then watch this. What's the point of being lazy if you can if you have magic bridge building powers?
Yeah, are they even holding tools there? I think they're just willing the bridge to appear.
And they can super jump. I mean,
These guys are the MVPs right now.
They're wasting their talent. You're gonna pick up the gale seeds here, which let you warp to and from trees that you've already seen, seed trees specifically.
Yeah, anytime that you visit a screen with a seed tree on it, it'll mark it as a warp point.
also if you hit an enemy with the warp seed, it will warp them. Certain enemies. And I believe if you use the mystery seed, it also has a chance of warping them too. So
Yeah, the mystery seeds, they have a random property, so they can take the property of any of the other seeds. So they can do ember seeds, they can do scent seeds, they can do gale seeds. They can also do Pegasus seeds, which we haven't seen just yet. But we're gonna take a quick detour and go get some Pegasus seeds.
which are very, very useful in this and seasons.
And normally, at this point in the run, you shouldn't be able to go get the Pegasus seeds, but we're going to be doing a glitch to let us get there. After we get this song here. Harp on A.
It's always trouble. This guy's way too hyped up for 3 a.m.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh my god.
Link's just like, what's going on? I don't even want to walk anymore. And from that jig, apparently we have learned a new song.
Yeah, this song allows us to go from the past to the present, no matter where we're at. We don't need to find one of those warp portals anymore.
But as he said, it is only one directional. We can't use it to go from the present to the past.
For now, you need a portal for those.
And now, a donation comment already talked about the toilet warp. We're about to do it. Basically, when you're in an inside area, all the inside areas, houses, caves, they're located on the same map as the overworld, except they're located off to the side, out of the bounds of the map. And if you have a text box appear at the same frame that you leave one of these houses or caves, the game gets tricked, and it doesn't actually take you back where you came from. Instead, it'll take you to whichever screen is next to it on the map. So the old man cave happens to be one tile below where the toilet house is. And that takes us to the Goron area, which is the areas of dungeons 5 and 6.
So we are really out of the way right now. So it's a really nice sequence break. For several reasons, as will be apparent in a moment. But really quick, I just wanted to point out, if you have the Ember Seeds on the A button instead, for some odd reason you have to push the A button twice to drop the Ember Seed.
I think it's has to do with like it thinking you want to talk to
Right.
to him and then let you use the seed. Now here we have the Goron dancing minigame. This is one of everyone's favorites minigames.
You do get a couple of chances.
Yeah, there's a total of 8 sequences that you have to do. You need to get 6 correct in order to pass the minigame.
Ideally, you would do 6 and then intentionally fail the last 2 as quickly as possible.
Or if you're being super ideal, there are certain patterns that are longer than others. Up to 7 steps. You would fail the ones with 7 steps, and you would pass the ones that have less steps in them.
You gotta be pretty sure of your dancing skills to do that.
I've got a $150 donation. Hey everyone, Otaku Patriot here. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see even a single save frame from this run because I'm somewhere in the middle of the ocean on one of our Navy's finest submarines. I'm just barely able to send this message to you all with the limited bandwidth we have. I wish I could have attended this year, but at the very least I can still donate. Here's $150. 100 goes to killing the animals and 50 goes to runner's choice, even if it's also killing the animals. Here's to a fantastic AGDQ and a 100% glitchless New Year. Thank you very much for the donation, and thank you very much for your service.
So those jumps that he made, they're really not supposed to be doing those. There's just enough room where you can get across them. Normally you're supposed to use the Pegasus seeds to get across.
Yeah, this game, Oracle of Ages and Seasons is weird for pits. It's not really the full square that you can fall into. It's more or less the innermost part of it. Like, there's kind of a border that you can slide around a bit on and have a bit of traction on before you actually fall in.
Yeah, and in a task, you can actually pit walk. If there's two pits next to each other, you can just move back and forth between two of those pits, and you'll never fall in. But that's beyond human ability.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, it's possible, but not likely for RTA.
Fair enough.
So we finally arrived at the Pegasus Seeds. These will let us go fast. Sort of like the Pegasus Boots in most other Zelda games, when you use these seeds, your speed increases. Unlike other Pegasus Boots, you use a seed and then it's active for a period of time. And in that time, you can also remove the item and equip something else in its place. So it's very useful throughout the rest of the run.
And if you equip it with the Pegasus, not the Pegasus, but the Rock's Feather, you can also, your momentum carries into your jump, so you can jump a bit further than what you already can.
Now this fight here is interesting. You want to dodge the little bombs while picking up the big one. And you need to throw the big bomb back at the King Moblin here and have it blow up in his face. When you throw the bomb back at him, if you throw it too far to the left or right, he will move a little bit, trying to pick it up and throw it back at you. And if he moves, then he has to move back to the center before he can throw the next bomb. So you want to try and throw all your bombs towards the middle to avoid that.
This is more of doing actions in the past to affect the present.
We got $50 from Stanley Stahl. Love the stream, and I just had to donate during one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. Save the pixels, save the animals.
So since we're already in the area of Dungeon 5, we might as well go into it now instead of having to come back here later. So we're getting the key for Dungeon 5, and then we're gonna go straight inside.
The toilet warp is what makes that possible.
We should be nowhere near here right now.
Go right back to where the Pegasus seeds were.
So here's an example of the Pegasus jump.
Makes those 2-tile gaps a lot easier to cross. Now, a thing to note about Dungeon 5 is that we're not actually going to be playing the whole dungeon.
In fact, we're not going to be playing most of it.
Yeah.
We just need to get the dungeon item, and in order to get that, we only need 1 key. So we're going to be getting one of the quickest keys that we can, and then quickly going to get the dungeon item.
So yeah, this... don't think of it really much of a dungeon as it is just a small little side quest for an item.
Yeah, it's a pit stop.
Now he's a little low on hearts, so he's picking up a few hearts here.
We got a $20 donation from Please Email Me. I am error. Or at least I must be for waking up at 2 a.m. to watch this. A good friend of my family has a 3-year-old who's been battling for his life for the past 9 months. All he knows is needles and hugs. Here's $20 to help beat the hell out of cancer.
So close.
So this room is pretty cool because you can hit 2 torches on the same rotation if you're fast enough. So you can get this room in 2 cycles.
And then we don't even really need to pay attention to that switch shows you what the pattern is supposed to be, but since it never changes.
And that chest gives us the Cane of Samaria,
And we're done with D5.
Yeah, we're done with Dungeon 5, and we're not going to be using the cane for quite a while now.
Which is really good because the boss of that dungeon is kind of a jerk.
That boss is actually one of the most interesting bosses in the game. You have to use the cane to move parts of the bosses. It's more like a puzzle than an actual boss fight.
Mm-hmm. But it can be kind of tedious if you're not really fast.
So after that, we conveniently warp right back to where we were in going towards Dungeon 4. And we'll pick up right where we left off. In order to access Dungeon 4, we need to restore balance to Symmetry City, and the only way to do that is to restore the tuning nut. The only way to restore the tuning nut is to bring it to Mr. Patch at the top of Restoration Wall. So we have to travel over there.
And real quick, I just want to point out that tuning nut is a palindrome, and this is Symmetry City, so it's kind of a pun.
We actually have a donation about that from Tyler the Defiler, $50. I got this game when it came out and only recently realized that tuning nut in Symmetry City is a palindrome.
I'm also psychic.
Hopefully this donation will keep others from going 15 years without realizing that.
Whoops, sorry.
So this area is supposed to be pretty much the training for the second song that we got, the Tune of Currents. You're going to be going back and forth a lot through time, trying to make your way to the Restoration Wall.
Casually, it can be a fairly confusing area.
A lot of things look the same, and I remember I had difficulty with this when I was a child, so yeah.
It's amazing how pushing a small block will change the entire body of water to move that quickly.
And it'll change more than just that in the future, so it's a very deep message. Small decisions, big impact.
This seed, you want to make sure it's all the way in place before you warp to the present.
Yeah.
If you warp while the seed is moving, it'll stay in whatever position that it was.
Which
before you
means
lose.
it'll be one square to the left of where you need it to be.
And then you will sigh.
And you'll have to go
You'll
back.
have to go back, yeah.
And do it again.
I think it's happened to everybody who's run this game.
Definitely. At least once.
Mino donated $20.16. Gotta show my support. The Oracle games are often overlooked, but they're my favorite all the same. Happy New Year and shoutouts to the 502 crew.
So we're finally coming up on the actual restoration wall. At this point, you're not supposed to be having Pegasus seeds, so it kind of breaks this segment. You're supposed to be climbing up this area slowly and dodging boulders, but we just run past everything.
Yeah.
Just in case, if you take some hits from the boulders, Patch conveniently has hearts in those pots.
Now, how he's going to fix this is a bit of... I wouldn't want him to fix any of my stuff, personally, to be honest. So.
Yeah. He's got this crazy ceremony where he traps you in and there's these beetles. Now, yeah, what just happened there? If you jump into that corner as one of the beetles comes up to you, its hitbox will disappear and it won't bump you around. And now you can just wait for all of them to show up and just slash them all into the pit.
The idea is basically you want to defeat them all or stand on the switch, because if you don't, he has a card that will smash into the tuning nut, so, and break it.
And now that the tuning nut's back in place, the volcano has calmed down and we can enter Dungeon 4.
Which goes from being a volcano to being water somehow.
Seems legit.
D4 is it's a pretty challenging dungeon. There's a lot of opportunities to take a lot of damage from enemies,
And then you've also got keys, which weren't, if they weren't bad enough, now they're on fire.
And you also have lava.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
Anytime that you fall in the lava, you take damage. Even if you just got boosted by an enemy like that.
there's not a lot of room to stand in a lot of these areas in the first place, so the game developers decided to put as many enemies in the smallest amount of space as possible.
And just like Dungeon 5, we're not going to be completing the full dungeon. We're just trying to get the dungeon item and then we're going to leave. Unfortunately, the dungeon item is hidden pretty deep into the dungeon, so we're going to be here for a little while.
This jump that he's about to do, it's fairly difficult,
It's everyone's favorite.
and if you fail it, which he won't, if your Pegasus seed wears off, then you have to. Oh, nice!
First try.
That was good.
What's that?
We always believed in you.
So this Moldorm here, he's one of the best goaltenders ever. Sometimes he'll block like 4 or 5 shots before you can finally hit the switch there.
It's kind of rough because seeds start to become a little tight in this dungeon.
Yeah, and we used to get the Seed Satchel upgrade before this, but we've routed it to where we don't need it anymore.
In practice, one of the Stalfos shot us out of the way of being crushed by those, so...
Thank you, Mitty, for the $60 donation. Definitely not my first rodeo with AGDQ, but my first live donation. Good luck to all the runners with all of their runs, and of course, kill the animals.
Good hard drop.
Yeah, as you can see, he started to get pretty low on health.
That's a pretty good pattern for those
Yeah,
beetles,
that
too.
room can be a real pain. If those beetles spawn close to you and bunched up, you might not even make it over to the other side.
That location of that is really
This
a
room,
bother.
yeah, this room sucks.
It's downright mean.
Putting the block protected by a spike trap.
And then when you move it down, there's those things the floor will break under you if you stand on it too long. So
You have just enough time to push it before it crumbles.
yeah, it's not even.
Wow.
Whoa, all these hearts now.
You're not even getting
The game loves
a
you.
friend later.
So normally in this room you're supposed to jump on the platform, but if you line yourself up just right, you can bank a shot off the wall and hit the switch.
The positioning can be a little difficult, especially when keys are flying around bothering you.
Oh, we got it anyway.
There we go.
Works.
Serves him right.
It was worth it.
And we use that key for just doing that.
So he's gonna have to kill these Stalfos in one go. Which he did.
That was good. It's a lot more important than it actually sounds. Because
Yeah, if he didn't kill those Stalfos, he would either have to wait on the left side there and try and slash them as they come close, or he would have to take the minecart of shame.
yeah, which goes all the way back. It's not really fun.
Neither of those options are particularly quick. And the fairy that was in the pot up there is always there.
Yeah, that fairy is a lifesaver.
It's the one nice thing about Dungeon 4. I guess they decided to throw us a bone.
But usually after that point, you don't need the hearts anyway.
Yeah. The mini boss coming up here in a second has a set pattern, so ideally you won't take any damage at all. I should say he has a set pattern for the first three movements of the sword. After that, he starts to get fancy with his footwork.
And if you don't move in the proper way, he can actually get desynced and he'll just start playing chicken with you. And it can take quite a while to actually hit him with his own sword.
Now, there are a few different ways to do this. It's very reminiscent of puzzles like this in any really video game, so
Now, I'm pretty sure every runner does this room differently. It doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you end up in front of the chest at the end. And that's Dungeon 4.
That's all we needed.
there we go. Eventually, we'll finish a dungeon in full again. Eventually. It's coming. Trust me.
So the thing about skipping the bosses of those dungeons is that it puts us 2 heart containers behind. So the next dungeon that we go into is going to be fairly difficult.
Yeah.
It's already difficult. I mean, even if you had enough heart containers, it would be a pain.
Yeah, there are a lot of unique enemies in that dungeon that finally appear, and they're not exactly the most fun to be around.
They do a lot of damage.
And the way they can do damage is really annoying. You'll find out.
You'll see once we get there. There's Maple again. This time she's going to be on screen for a little bit longer.
We're going to be playing tag with her, and we do not want to get it. Whoa. I'm not touching you.
So yeah, that's the first time we've used the switch hook, which kind of acts like the hook shot from other Zelda games. But in this one, it replaces your position with whatever you've grappled onto.
It's a really neat twist on the traditional hook shot.
So here we've got some mini games, and we have a very small trading sequence coming up. Not quite extensive as other trading sequences in this game and in Seasons, but it's very much required to continue the game. But there are a lot of mini games we have to rush through before that, unfortunately.
And this segment is one of the main reasons we get as much money as we get, because we have to pay for all these mini games. And if we fail these mini games, then we have to pay even more. And
That, of course, wastes time.
Right.
It's just bad all around.
so this shooting gallery is really interesting. After each shot, there's a couple text boxes that show up. Now, if you don't do anything, you get 2 text boxes. If you get points, you get 3 text boxes. One tallies the points, one gives you your total, and it just keeps adding up. Then, if the way we do this is that we only need, I think it's 100 points to beat the game, and one angel gives you 120 points, and you're guaranteed to get an angel in the middle. That pattern is guaranteed. Now, for the rest of this, we can just shoot all the balls down, and we'll get 0 points each time, and we'll win the game.
When you're swinging the sword to hit the ball, you can't just mash as fast as you can. If you do that, the ball will sail right past you.
Yeah,
So
you kind of have to time it a little bit.
It's not very precise, but
Now we're going to create a time paradox. So now we need to do the actual trading for the trading sequence. The first thing is we get this vase from this Goron here. And now we're going to take the vase into the past, and we're going to give it to his ancestor that gave it to him.
Who will then?
Give it back to us.
It's a never-ending cycle.
this is the second time he's got Pegasus seeds from those bushes. They always have them, so it's a great place during the run to restock.
Now the minigame coming up can be quite a pain. We're gonna be dodging some bombs
Oh boy.
on conveyor belts.
It's a lot less exciting than it sounds, trust us.
It's pretty exciting.
It starts out pretty tame, but then nice safety save for this minigame.
At least the first one is free.
Yeah, the first one's free, so we at least get to try it out. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, it's not so bad. Oh no, this is pretty simple, right? You begin to think, when is it gonna end?
Oh, that was pretty close, but we survived. And that gives us the Old Mermaid key. There's actually 2 keys for the Dungeon 6, and now we're going to have to go get the other one. And the main thing with Dungeon 6 is that it exists in both the past and the present. So we need 2 keys, one to open the past, one to open the present.
Yeah, Link doesn't break the present dungeon this time, so we actually have both.
And actually, to get the other key, we're going back to the Goron to play some more dancing.
Because it was so fun the first time.
This is probably a good time for a few donations. $20 donation anonymously. Hi everyone from Italy. There isn't a better awakening than an ages one. Donating what I can, thanks to all the volunteers working behind the scenes and to all the runners for making this possible. Truly the best face of the gaming community. Shout out to Banana Spirit on the couch. Save those frames, kill the animals. $50 donation from Janice Lewick. Hey, this is the 4th time I'm watching one of these marathons and I always felt bad for not donating. So here's a little something for all the missed opportunities. Please keep doing such awesome stuff. Kill the cancer and the animals.
So since he didn't miss any of the patterns there, he can just fail these last 2, and since he already won 6, he'll still get the key. Now it's time to enter the Mermaid Cave.
Now, as we previously said, this dungeon, you take a bit of damage in it. The enemies here, there's some new enemies here that can do a lot of damage. Like these candle enemies right here. First of all, they run when you light them on fire, and then they explode. So, as candles should, I guess. And
Now-
also, we are 2 hearts down too, so...
Now we're finally going to get to use some scent seeds. As you can see, the enemies are attracted to the scent and they just walk right off the ledge.
Now they're not required for that room, it's just the fastest way. Because otherwise you'd have to either make that jump without Pegasus seeds or take the time to equip Pegasus seeds. Wow.
So this is one of 2 rooms that is required to use the Cane of Samaria. If we could skip these 2 rooms, we could totally skip the cane and Dungeon 5 altogether. But alas, we have to go through this room. Not once, but twice. Because the way this dungeon works is that any changes you make in the past also affect the present. So here we're going to be opening a bomb wall. And by bombing this wall here, the same opening will be available in the present.
And getting grabbed by the wall masters, I guess, is faster than doing a save and quit. So if you can get grabbed by them, might as well.
And here we have more candle enemies. These guys are jerks. Now this puzzle here, when you light all 4 torches, the wall retracts. And again, that will be present in the present version of the dungeon as well. So that'll open up a new passageway for us to go.
So we're done with the past for now.
we'll come back here a little bit later on, but now let's go to the present and see what we have there.
$8 donation from Y. Shout out to the handsome devil in the Majora's Mask shirt from his cousins in St. Louis. Loving this run and loving the cause.
You saw him pick up ember seeds there from those bushes. Those are always there.
Again, that's part of our seed routing, so that we skip the seed satchel upgrade.
Yeah, with the satchel upgrade, you don't really care. You just use seeds willy-nilly, but
And these rooms look kind of familiar from the rooms in the past, but some of them are slightly different. Like that one there had the blocks covering the enemies in, and you have to actually use a scent seed there.
that jump is annoying.
And it is the one time in the game where it would be required, right?
Yep.
At least for this run.
Right.
And more spinners, so we gotta make our way around. This dungeon has quite a few spinners. One of which is my personal favorite.
Oh, right. It's the best.
It makes me actually enjoy spinners, really.
So he's making heavy use of the switch hook here. It's gonna let him save time from having to go all the way back up to the top. You can just grab one of these pots and go over.
Also, those Gibdos do a lot of damage, so anytime that a Gibdo's in the way, he can just use the switch hook and switch places with it to try and avoid taking damage.
Nice.
And here we have the mini-boss of the dungeon. If you've played Oracle of Seasons or Link's Awakening, this enemy might seem familiar. This is Fire. He shows up as a mini-boss in both Oracle games. The main way to attack him is to wait for him to charge you and then just spin slash him. But at a certain point, he just decides he doesn't want to charge you anymore, and he'll just circle around you slowly. At that point, your best bet is to use bombs, and you want to throw a bomb about a quarter circle ahead of where he's at to have it explode when he's there.
The reason why he pulled the bomb out early there was for a setup for making that in one shot.
Yeah, trying to time the bomb normally can be pretty difficult, but if you use a setup there, you can get it pretty much every time.
Now, while in the last two dungeons, after we've gotten the item, we've escaped. This time, we're staying through the course.
Yeah, we actually
we
have
have
to
a little bit
finish
more
this
work to do.
dungeon. The mermaid suit actually changes his swim mechanics. Instead of being able to just move around and then press A to move faster, he now has to mash the control pad in the direction that he wants to go. But this also allows him to go into the deep water, which he previously was unable to do. And once you're in the deep water, you can also use items as well. And now it's time for RNG. This is the boss key room. You have to pull the levers and hope you get the chest to spawn.
This is also a great area for ropes to get stuck and you not know where they are. Well, at least on the other side.
And you have to kill the ropes before you can pull the lever again.
And a thing to note is that the first time that you pull the lever, you can't spawn the chest. But after that, you have an opportunity to spawn the chest.
It's what, 3 and 16?
Yeah, it's a 3 in 16 chance.
That wasn't too bad, all things considered.
Yeah, we had one that was much worse in practice earlier.
In retrospect, how did I get that as a child? I probably would have given up.
So now we have the dungeon item, we have the boss key. All we have to do is get to the boss room, which is back in the past. But in order to get to the boss room, we also need 2 more keys. There's one that a lot of people tend to forget, which is back by those 4 torches we lit. There is a patch of deep water, so we have to go back over there. And I know I've definitely forgotten that key at least once in my runs.
You get to that key block and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, you get to that last key block and you're like, wait, I know exactly which key I forgot. So the thing he did there was he swapped his seed shooter onto the A button. When you're in deep water, you can use whatever item you have on A, and whatever the B button is actually designated for diving. But even when you're in these 2D sections where you can't dive, you still can't use that item. And for some reason you can use ember seeds underwater. Doesn't really make sense.
We have a $30 anonymous donation. Let's destroy cancer. Put this towards Carcinogens Remaster Real Survivor Best Ending Run.
So there you saw him use a Gale Seed in the Seed Shooter to move away an enemy. That's probably one of the few times that you'll actually use that, just because that Wizrobe can be very annoying.
You also have to be careful with your Gale Seed count because you need, what, 2 after this? But he has plenty, so he's in no
Yeah.
danger.
And now it's for everyone's favorite spinner. This is the pointless spinner room where you just have to spin 3 times.
He's using master strats right here, though, to get around it, obviously.
I have no idea why they put this spinner in the game. It serves no logical purpose other than to slow you down. Now in this underwater section, he's going to be going for the final key. And he has the switch hook equipped. When you use the switch hook, you can actually kill these ropes. So it saves an equip instead of having to use something else, because now we have the switch hook puzzle that we have to do. The puzzle here, one of the fastest solutions is to make a diamond in the middle, and then everything kind of lines up perfectly for you to just put them into place. And then that puts you right in front of the chest after the puzzle.
We have a $50 donation. Hey Cass, it's Saber Rider from Dynasty Scans. I almost fell off my chair when I saw you on the schedule for this year's AGDQ. Unfortunately, I can't watch your run because of work, so I'm sending this blindly. The money goes to your choice as long as it is not saving the animals. Best of luck on the run, and go fast for me and the rest of your minions.
So that was the only other use of the Cane of Samaria, to hold down that switch. And now we're at the boss. And
he unequipped the seed shooter there because once this boss goes underwater, he's going to unequip the sword as well and then punch it.
And when he goes to punch the boss, he wants to try and be lined up with the boss, because otherwise your punches have very small hitboxes. So if you're kind of diagonal, you tend to miss a lot, and you'll just tank a bunch of hits. So the boss should be almost dead.
There we go.
There we go. Now that we've beaten Dungeon 6, we're almost done with the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 2 more dungeons, right?
Well, we just beat 4 dungeons. I think
Yeah,
that's good enough.
Yeah,
We're
we
done. I mean,
didn't
come on.
actually beat Dungeons 4 and 5. So
Yeah,
I mean, we don't really need to do anything else, right?
yeah.
Oh, wait, what's the waifu tree telling us now? She's telling us that the queen has left the castle, so now's our time to strike to save Naru.
$50 from Sonnets. Happy as always to be watching another GDQ. Good luck to the runners, and money goes to the level 1 Sephiroth fight.
So normally at this point you're supposed to activate some switches and take a secret passage to get inside the castle. But these guards can be distracted pretty easily with these scent seats. So we're gonna try and distract them. And go and walk right in the front door.
Nice.
Here we go.
All right. And now we actually have to visit the secret passage because there's a glitch coming up where it doesn't work unless we visit this one specific tile on the map.
You don't have to do anything in there.
We just have to show up here, which is this tile there, and that is one of the glitch tiles that we're going to be selecting in a little bit, and that'll allow this major glitch to work.
And even though the guards see you, they don't really do anything significant. In fact, we can just run through them because why not?
Yeah, and in fact, even if a guard touches you, they try and slash you. They don't even send you back outside.
They're not really good guards.
So remember way back when we got these mystery seeds and the queen was, and they were so interested in what they were? Well, it turns out mystery seeds are one of Veren's weaknesses, and it'll allow Veren to just pop out of any person that she's possessed. Then we can use the switch hook and the sword to slash her.
That was pretty good RNG there. She can normally warp around the room. That can take, 10, 15 tries if you get bad luck, but not today.
There might be a manipulation to that fight, but we don't know exactly. So now we've saved Naru. The game's basically over at this point. There's nothing else for us to do, right? I mean, we unfroze time, and most importantly,
we saved the animals. This is what you guys donated for, right? Wrong animals?
Hey, it's got a bow.
And there's a red monkey up there for some reason.
So now that Nehru's in her own body now, she can finally teach us the final song, which allows us to move freely through time. And this song will be very instrumental in the next part.
I see what you did there.
Because we're about to make our way to the final boss. And you're probably thinking, okay, we didn't beat Dungeon 4, we didn't beat Dungeon 5. Aren't there normally 8 dungeons in Zelda games? We didn't beat Dungeon 7 and 8. How are we going to the final boss? Well, there is a pretty big glitch we're going to be doing. And it starts off with another text warp. This time we're going to be text warping from outside of Mermaid's Cave, where the owl statue is. We can shoot a mystery seed at the owl statue to get that delayed text to have it appear as we're leaving the cave. So if we get the text to appear on the same frame that we leave the cave, it'll take us to whatever room happens to be below that. And the room that is below the entrance to Dungeon 6 it's another Goron cave, but the room ID is all messed up, and it ends up being really glitchy. Now, normally when you're in a cave, you can't play the harp, but because everything is messed up, the harp actually plays, and it actually warps you through time. And the counterpart to this room is what we call X World, which is just a filler tile located outside of the map that the developers put in to make all the maps the same size. Now, we need to go into the past because the tile that we want, that the glitch tile that we're going to be using happens to be in the past. And we're going to be lining ourselves up with a specific X position, and then we're going to be selecting this specific tile on the map screen, which happens to be right below where the map is. And if we do things properly... Okay, it doesn't seem like it worked that time. For some reason, this glitch is very prone to crashes. Might have to do with just minor subpixel positioning, but we're not...
Whatever it is, it's very subtle because
Yeah,
we're not sure.
it's very, very subtle.
It can be a very glitchy glitch.
But
in the wrong ways.
There's actually a few different things going on with this glitch. One of which is we're going to be corrupting our ring box. So, you know, the second screen, the second inventory screen, normally houses the ring box. Well, that screen's going to be all glitched out. And it'll give us a bunch of garbage along with some other rings. One of which is the red ring, which doubles your attack power. And that's the one that we're going to be using for the final boss. Also, there is a positioning glitch when we get the actual glitch to work that'll send Link to the left side of the screen. And when he's on the left side of the screen, any left or right input will send him through...
Wait, what?
That's interesting. So, when Link's on the left-hand side of the screen there, any left or right input will screen transition. And once we actually get the glitch to work, there'll be some text boxes that pop up. One of which is a save and quit text box that normally appears after the credits. So we actually, if we get the glitch to work, we'll save there, and the game will technically be completed. But we still complete the final boss for the actual ending.
We want to see the credits themselves.
Yeah. Especially the credits.
And once that save and quit text box shows up, it'll also bring up the text that shows up before the final phase of the final boss. Yep, another crash. It's unfortunate, but you know, these things happen. Can we get a time check?
We're at 157.
Right.
So like I was saying, the text shows up after the save and quit text box, and that brings you into the final phase of the final boss. We can actually skip that text with the positioning glitch. When there's a sprite in the top left-hand corner, when that sprite changes, you quickly screen transition and it'll skip all of the text boxes that normally show up. And that glitch itself is only made possible because of the seed satchel spawn location at the very beginning of the game. And you tend to get some really interesting results when you do this glitch.
This is still faster than doing the other dungeons anyway.
Yeah, this is much faster than doing the rest of the dungeons. Another thing to note, when you're doing this glitch, you want to make sure you have Ember Seeds or Pegasus Seeds loaded into your seed shooter, or else it will definitely crash. And you also want to make sure your equips are set properly. You want to have Harp on A. As much as people hate Harp on A, you want to have Harp on A.
This is the one time.
You can also use a bomb on A, and you can also use Feather on B. Okay, we got the purple screen there, so the glitch actually worked.
All right.
And we're in
There
the
we
final
go.
boss.
Time will be coming up soon.
Yeah, if he does everything perfectly here, we'll get a 1 cycle.
And we also have a red ring equipped, which doubles our attack.
Okay, so he didn't get the 1 cycle, so the boss will transform, and we got bad RNG. There's 2 transformations, and time.
159.43.
Sub 2, not bad.
That's really good.
So like I was saying, there's 2 different transformations you can get when the boss transforms. There's a spider and there's a bee. The spider you have to throw a bomb at in order to damage it, and the bee you can hit normally. So you really want to get the bee whenever you don't get the 1 cycle, but you know that was a pretty good pattern. So
Yeah, he
it
nailed
worked
the
out.
spider right away with the bomb. Might have actually been faster than the bee. $159 something, right?
Yep, 159.43.
Not too bad.
And sometimes an after effect of the glitch is that the credits music tends to get a little
Remix.
glitched out. Yeah, but I don't hear anything
Yeah, it
just
seems,
yet.
Seems fine. Sometimes it doesn't show up until the credits. though.
Yeah. So now we beat the game. We can finally get the true ending. You actually get to link with Oracle of Seasons at this point and get the true ending.
Time to play seasons now, right?
Maybe another time.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cassus, and the entire Couch crew for an awesome start to the whole Zelda series that we're going to be seeing for the rest of the marathon.